Hey, it's Kevin DeWitt here, and welcome to another tip, trick, or technique session. In this session, we're going to have a look at parallel compression. So firstly, if you are new to my channel, new to my videos, and you like what you see, please click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos. So parallel compression, okay, you've probably heard the term if you don't already know how to do it. It's used quite a lot in mixing, and I'm going to run through it in a minute and hopefully give you enough clarity on how to do it so that you can move forward using it in your mixes. So obviously, I'm hoping that you know what compression is and using compression plugins. If not, check out some other videos on my channel to go through the basics of that first. But parallel compression is where we add compression of that one instrument or vocal in parallel. So basically we put it together with the original signal so that we have the advantage and the benefit of both worlds, where we get a nice compressed signal, audio sound of the vocal or instrument, but we're also retaining the original. So we're not impacting the original sound, so we can get all the peaks and the low ends, you know, the peaks and troughs of the sound, but also add some of the compressed meat back in with it as well to really boost the audio and give it more power and more presence. So let's get into it. I'll show you around, and hopefully you can hear what I'm talking about in the examples. All right, so we've got a drum track here, and it sounds like this. Nice, nothing wrong with that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch over to my mixer here. And what we're going to do is, the first thing you need to do is you need to add an effects channel. Now, I've already got one here, which I've called P drums. All right, and you'll notice I store this in my template here. What I have is these drums already have a send configured, set up to go to the P drums, but they're just not turned on at the moment. Okay, now, depending on what sound you're going for, there's different ways to do that. You can send everything to this parallel drums, including your overheads, your room, everything tracks. Okay, in my one, I prefer to just send the close mics, which are a bit cleaner, less room in them. And because they're the ones I want to sort of get the more impact on. So basically I put it on my kick, I put it on my snares, my toms, and in this case here, it's on the hat, but I'm not going to turn it on the hat. I probably wouldn't put it on that. I don't usually like to parallel compress anything that's a cymbal because I don't want to bring out that top end. I want to bring out the power of the drums, which is in the snare, kick, and the toms. Now, when I do this method, this one is where I do the parallel processing in a way that I set my sends to full. So 0, I send the full signal to the effects channel, and then I blend that in with the fader. So I do this opposite to what I would do with reverb and delay, where you see here reverb and delay, I would have that set to full, and I blend in how much of that effect I want by adjusting the send. In this case here, I send all of the signal with the send. So if I turn these on, it'll have no impact because I've got this set down to 0. But let me show you what's on here first. Now, you can use any compressor you like. This is just one that I've got here at the moment, which is a DBX 160, but we can do it with an 1176 style. We can just use a stock standard compressor, whatever you want there. And on top of that, we can do some other processing. So in this regard here, I've also got a little bit of an EQ setting here that I'm doing adjustment just to give a little bit extra out of this parallel compression, but you don't need to do that if you don't want to. That is obviously optional, but you can do anything you like with this. This is parallel processing. You can do whatever you want. So a common technique is to use something like the DBX 160 here or an 1176. But as I said, you can use any compressor you want to get that sound that you're looking for. Now, the reason that I send the whole thing is because what I have is I have this compressor already pre-set up. And if I was to adjust the send, so if we, let me just show you, I'm going to turn all these off and only send the kick. Okay, so we've got the full send going to this compressor here. So if we have a look at the compressor, you can see that it's responding there and, you know, it's doing a bit of compression, you know, so we could adjust this so that we're going a lot harder, or, you know, and we can compress a lot more, whatever you want to do. So we're getting big compression here. Now, if I adjust this send and was doing it, blending it in, as soon as I bring that down, we're getting no compression anymore, or barely any, unless it's a really big hit. And this is why I don't use the send to adjust it, because I want this compressor to respond the same regardless. Okay, I don't want it to stop compressing because I reduce that signal. So we want it compressing heavy there, and then we can blend in. So we can actually listen with this listen button in Cubase. I can listen. So you hear what it's doing. So if I took that off, that's what we get. So just for the sake of this, let's change this to an 1176 style. Anyone will do. And let's get a lot of compression going on here. Let's go full. Okay, so we've got a fair bit of compression going on there. And so if we add in the rest of our drums, all right, and if we open this plugin up just so we can have a look, you can see there's a fair bit of compression going on there. We could even go the all buttons mode here, but let's just go with 20 at the moment, just pretty extreme. Okay, so, but we haven't got any blended in now, so let me blend it in as we do it. So you can hear there how much extra we put in now. Obviously, I'm going over the top here. We probably wouldn't go that far. We'd come down a bit here. But let me just bring that so it's out at the moment, and then I'll just bring it back in. Okay, I said I wouldn't bring the hat in and I turned it on by mistake. So you can see it's not doing much compression in those low parts, but you can still hear the amount of extra oomph that we're bringing in here. So as I said, we could do this with any plugin. It doesn't have to be one of these. We can turn that off. We can pull up some sort of default one that comes with Cubase or anything here and do the same thing. Let's say we go with, let's have a look at this tube compressor. Okay, so we want to obviously dial all the settings in. Put the mix on 100. High ratio. Fairly fast release. Fairly fast attack. This one's got some drive, so you could even get some distortion in there. And some character. You can hear how compressed that is. Now, normally you'd say that is horrible. Very compressed. Now let's pull it down and bring it in. So you can hear how much more power comes in with that snare and the kick and everything else. So you obviously want to adjust this to suit the song and what you're going for. But definitely if you've got a mix going on and your drums sound fairly good, but your kick and snare and your toms are just not cutting it, you just need a bit more power. This is how you do it, okay? Parallel compression. Set it to over compressing the signal so you can see how much compressing it's doing so it doesn't sound natural. Then just blend it in to suit with the original drums. So there you go. That is parallel compression. Hopefully I have gone through it clear enough that you understand what it is. If you have any comments about it, please feel free to put it in the comments. If you have any questions, if I wasn't clear about anything, or you just need some more information, please do feel free to put it in the comments. I'd love to help wherever I can. If you did like what you see here, please click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos. Your support is really appreciated, and it does help me to continue to make videos like this more into the future. Hopefully the video has been helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.